The morning everything changed, Jenna Morrison stared at the pregnancy test in her trembling hands. The bathroom light seemed too bright, making the two pink lines even more impossible to ignore. She sat on the edge of her bathtub in her small Seattle apartment, feeling like the walls were closing in around her. At 26 years old, Jenna had imagined this moment completely differently. In her dreams, she would be married, financially stable, and ready. Instead, she was living paycheck to paycheck as a marketing coordinator at Cascade Technologies, sharing a tiny apartment with her roommate and dating a boyfriend who had been acting strange for weeks. The rain hammered against the window, matching the storm of emotions swirling inside her. It was 7:30 on a Tuesday morning, and she needed to be at work in an hour. But how could she possibly focus on spreadsheets and client presentations when her entire world had just shifted? Reaching out in desperation, her phone sat on the bathroom counter, and Jenna knew she needed to talk to someone immediately. Her family lived 3 states away in Montana, and telling them over the phone felt wrong. Her mother would be disappointed. Her father would be concerned about her finances. Her older brother would lecture her about responsibility, but she had Riley. Riley Chen had been her closest friend since college, the person who knew all her secrets and never judged. Riley worked night shifts as a nurse at Seattle General Hospital, and Jenna hoped she would still be awake. With shaking fingers, Jenna scrolled through her contacts. She found Riley's name and pressed call without double-checking. The phone rang several times before going to voicemail. "Riley, it's me," Jenna began, her voice cracking with emotion. "I need you. Something happened. Something big." She took a shaky breath. "I'm pregnant, Riley. The test is positive, and I don't know what to do. Tyler has been avoiding me for 3 weeks. Every time I try to talk to him, he says he's too busy with work. I'm scared. I feel so alone right now. Please call me back as soon as you get this. I really need my best friend." She ended the call and set the phone down, letting the tears finally flow. The relief of saying the words out loud to someone, even just a voicemail, made everything feel slightly more manageable. An unexpected listener across the city in downtown Seattle. Benjamin Frost sat in his corner office on the 42nd floor of Cascade Technologies. The sun was just beginning to break through the morning clouds, casting long shadows across his mahogany desk. At 43, Benjamin had built a successful career, but his personal life had crumbled 6 months ago. When his wife asked for a divorce after 15 years of marriage, he arrived at the office early every morning. A habit developed to avoid the emptiness of his too large house in Mercer Island. The coffee from the lobby cafe was still hot as he reviewed quarterly reports, trying to focus on numbers instead of the divorce papers his lawyer kept sending. His phone buzzed with a voicemail notification. Benjamin frowned, checking the time. 7:45 was early for business calls. He pressed play without checking the caller ID, expecting a message from his attorney or perhaps an international client. "Riley, it's me." The voice was female, young, and clearly distressed. Benjamin's attention sharpened. "I need you. Something happened. Something big." He should have stopped listening. He should have realized immediately that this was a wrong number. But something in the raw vulnerability of the voice made him pause. "I'm pregnant, Riley. The test is positive, and I don't know what to do. Tyler has been avoiding me for 3 weeks. Every time I try to talk to him, he says he's too busy with work. I'm scared. I feel so alone right now. Please call me back as soon as you get this. I really need my best friend." The message ended, and Benjamin sat in stunned silence. He checked the incoming number, and recognition slowly dawned. Jenna Morrison. The name appeared in his employee directory. She worked in the marketing department. Quiet and efficient coordinator who had been with the company for 2 years. That difficult decision. Benjamin replayed the message. This time, listening more carefully to the emotion in Jenna's voice, the fear, the desperation, the loneliness. He recognized those feelings intimately. When his wife had asked for a divorce, he had felt that same crushing isolation, the desperate need to talk to someone who would understand. He had several options. Delete the message and pretend he never heard it. Send Jenna a brief email mentioning she had called the wrong number. or acknowledge what he heard and somehow offer support without overstepping professional boundaries. Benjamin stood and walked to his floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out over the Seattle skyline. Ferries crossed Puget Sound in the distance. The Space Needle stood proud against the cloudy sky. Life continued normally for everyone else, while somewhere in this city, one of his employees was facing a life-changing situation completely alone. He thought about his own regrets. He and his wife had postponed having children, always saying they would wait until the timing was perfect. The timing never came, and now it was too late. They were getting divorced, and he was facing a future without the family he had always assumed he would eventually have. Benjamin made a decision that surprised even himself. He would not ignore this. He would find a way to help Jenna, even if she did not yet know he had heard her message. Jenna's morning continues. Jenna forced herself to get ready for work. She chose a navy blue blouse and gray slacks, professional armor to hide the chaos she felt inside. Her reflection in the mirror showed dark circles under her eyes and a paleness to her skin that makeup could not quite hide. The commute to Cascade, Technologies usually took 30 minutes by bus. Today, Jenna barely noticed the journey. Her mind spun with questions. How would she afford a baby? Her salary barely covered rent and student loans. What would she tell her family? Would Tyler step up, or would he disappear completely? When she arrived at the office, the familiar environment felt surreal. The modern glass building, the bustling lobby, the elevator ride to the 15th floor, where the marketing department hummed with activity. Everything looked the same. But Jenna felt fundamentally different. Her desk sat in an open-plan area with 5 other coordinators. Usually she enjoyed the collaborative atmosphere. Today she wished for privacy. Her computer screen glowed to life, showing 73 unread emails. Client requests, meeting invitations, project updates. All of it felt meaningless. "Morning, Jenna," called out Whitney from the neighboring desk. "You okay? You look kind of pale." "Just tired," Jenna managed a weak smile. "Didn't sleep well." A text from Tyler. "Can't meet this week. Crazy busy with the Portland project. Talk next week, maybe?" Jenna stared at the message, anger mixing with her fear. She was carrying his child, and he could not even make time for a conversation. The realization hit her hard. She was truly on her own. Benjamin takes action to floors above the marketing department. Benjamin called his assistant into his office. Patricia had worked with him for 8 years and handled sensitive matters with discretion. "Patricia, I need you to schedule a mandatory department meeting for all employees. Topic will be updates to our parental leave and family support policies. I want representatives from Human Resources to present comprehensive information about benefits." Patricia looked surprised. "All departments, Mr. Frost. Start with marketing, operations, and sales. Schedule it for tomorrow morning if possible. And Patricia, make sure the presentation covers all support resources available to employees facing major life transitions. I want it to be thorough and compassionate." After Patricia left, Benjamin pulled up Jenna Morrison's employee file. 26 years old. Bachelor's degree in communications from Washington State University. Solid performance reviews. No disciplinary issues. She lived in the Capitol Hill neighborhood. Was single, according to her benefits paperwork, and had been with the company for 2 years and 3 months. He closed the file, feeling the weight of what he was about to do. He was stepping into murky, ethical territory, using his position to help an employee who did not even know he was aware of her situation. But he could not shake the memory of that desperate voice on his voicemail. Could not ignore the instinct telling him that sometimes people appear in our lives exactly when we need them most. Even through a mistaken phone call, Benjamin drafted an email to the Human Resources Director, outlining his request for the presentation. He wanted information about parental leave, flexible work arrangements, healthcare coverage for pregnancy and childbirth, and counseling services. He wanted his employees to know they had options and support as he hit send. Benjamin wondered if Jenna would realize the meeting was not a coincidence. He wondered if she would be grateful or angry when she discovered he had heard her most vulnerable moment. But most of all, he wondered if he could make a difference in her life the way he wished someone had made a difference in his. When his marriage fell apart, the morning sun finally broke through the clouds completely, flooding his office with light. Benjamin took it as a good sign. Sometimes the universe worked in mysterious ways, connecting people who needed each other through something as simple as a misdirected phone call. The company meeting the next morning, Jenna arrived at work to find an email from Benjamin Frost's office. All marketing department employees were required to attend a meeting at 10 o'clock about updated company policies. Jenna had worked at Cascade Technologies for over 2 years and had never received a direct communication from the CEO before. The conference room on the 20th floor was larger than any meeting space Jenna had used. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a breathtaking view of Elliott Bay. About 30 employees filed in, taking seats around the long table and in chairs along the walls. Jenna chose a spot near the back, hoping to remain invisible. Benjamin Frost entered with a woman Jenna recognized as Karen Rodriguez from Human Resources. The CEO was tall with graying hair at his temples and sharp blue eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. Jenna had seen him occasionally in the lobby or elevators, but had never spoken directly to him. He had a reputation for being brilliant but distant, focused entirely on business. "Good morning, everyone," Benjamin began, his voice carrying authority, but also an unexpected warmth. "I've asked Karen to present some important information about our employee benefits and support programs. I realized recently that many of our team members may not fully understand all the resources available to them." Karen stood and began her presentation. She covered healthcare benefits, mental health counseling services, flexible work arrangements, and then moved to a section that made Jenna's heart race. "Our parental leave policy is one of the most comprehensive in the industry," Karen explained, clicking through slides. 16 weeks of fully paid leave for primary caregivers, with the option to extend up to 24 weeks with partial pay. "We also offer flexible return-to-work schedules, on-site childcare facilities opening next year, and healthcare coverage. That includes prenatal care, delivery, and postnatal support." Jenna felt her face growing hot. She glanced around to see if anyone was looking at her, but everyone seemed focused on the presentation. "We also want you to know about our employee assistance program," Karen continued. "Free confidential counseling for any personal challenges you might be facing, career transitions, family issues, financial planning, health concerns. You can access up to 20 sessions per year at no cost." Benjamin stepped forward again. "I want to emphasize the word confidential. Whatever you're going through in your personal life, you have support available here. Using these resources will never negatively impact your employment. In fact, taking care of yourselves makes you better at your jobs and contributes to our overall success." He paused, and for just a moment, his eyes seemed to find Jenna in the back of the room. Sometimes life throws us unexpected challenges. The people who thrive are not those who never face difficulties, but those who know when to ask for help and where to find it. A startling realization after the meeting, Jenna returned to her desk in a daze. The timing was too specific to be coincidence. Someone knew about her situation, but how? She had told no one at work. She pulled out her phone and checked her recent calls. Her stomach dropped. Yesterday morning, when she had called Riley in, a panic, she had been scrolling quickly through her contacts. Riley's name was right below Benjamin Frost in her phone. The CEO's number was listed there because he had sent a company-wide text about the annual holiday party 2 months ago. No, Jenna whispered, horrified. She had called her CEO instead of her best friend. She had left a desperate, emotional voicemail telling him she was pregnant, scared and alone. Jenna's hands trembled as she checked her voicemail outbox. There it was. A 1-minute and 37-second message sent to Benjamin Frost at 7:42 yesterday morning. She wanted to disappear. She wanted to quit her job immediately and move to another state. But beneath the embarrassment, another feeling emerged. Benjamin had not ignored the message. He had not reported it to Human Resources as inappropriate or unprofessional. Instead, he had organized an entire presentation to make sure she knew what support was available. He had done it in a way that did not single her out or violate her privacy. Jenna made a decision. She needed to face this directly. The conversation at lunch. Instead of leaving the building, Jenna took the elevator to the 42nd floor. Benjamin's assistant looked up in surprise when Jenna approached. "Can I help you?" "I need to speak with Mr. Frost," Jenna said, trying to keep her voice steady. It's personal. I'll wait as long as necessary. Patricia studied her for a moment, then picked up her phone. Mr. Frost, Jenna Morrison from marketing is here. She says it's personal. A pause. Yes, sir. Patricia hung up and nodded toward the office door. He'll see you now. Jenna's legs felt weak as she entered the spacious office. Benjamin stood. From behind his desk, gesturing to the sitting area by the windows rather than the formal chairs across from his desk. Jenna, please sit down. Can I get you anything? Water? Tea? I'm okay, thank you. Jenna perched on the edge of a leather chair. Mr. Frost, I need to apologize. Yesterday morning, I tried to call my friend Riley, but I accidentally called you instead. I left a voicemail that was extremely personal and completely inappropriate for you to receive. Hey, Benjamin sat across from her, his expression kind rather than angry. You don't need to apologize, Jenna. I understand it was an accident. The meeting. This morning, that was because of my message, wasn't it? Benjamin considered his words carefully. Partly, but also because I realize that many employees genuinely don't know what resources they have available. Your message reminded me that people often face difficult situations alone, not because help doesn't exist, but because they don't know how to access it. Jenna felt tears threatening. I was so scared. I am so scared. I feel ridiculous sitting here talking to my CEO about this. May I share something personal? Benjamin asked gently. Jenna nodded. 6 months ago, my wife asked for a divorce. After 15 years of marriage, she told me we had grown into different people. I felt blindsided, lost, and completely alone.
Ow.
I threw myself into work because I didn't know what else to do. I had plenty of acquaintances, but realized I had no real friends I could talk to about what I was feeling. Jenna looked up in surprise. The powerful CEO suddenly seemed human and vulnerable. I'm telling you this, Benjamin continued, because I recognize the loneliness in your voice. I know what it's like to face something overwhelming and feel like you have to handle it entirely on your own. When I heard your message, I heard myself 6 months ago. I don't know what to do, Jenna admitted. My boyfriend Tyler has been avoiding me for weeks. I finally told him yesterday about the pregnancy, and he basically said it ruins his career plans. He's being transferred to Portland and sees this baby as an inconvenience. Benjamin's jaw tightened. That's his failure, not yours. A man who walks away from responsibility isn't worth your time or energy.
Tyler's choice.
That evening, Tyler finally agreed to meet Jenna at a coffee shop near her apartment. He arrived 20 minutes late, looking annoyed at having to be there. So what do you want to talk about? Tyler asked, not even ordering a drink. Really? Jenna stared at him. I told you I'm pregnant with your child, and you want to know what I want to talk about? Tyler sighed dramatically. Look, Jenna, I've been thinking about this a lot. The Portland transfer is a huge opportunity. I'll be managing an entire regional office. It's what I've been working toward for 5 years. A baby doesn't fit into those plans. I'm not ready to be a father. I think you should, consider your options. Not everyone is ready for a kid at this point in their lives. Jenna felt remarkably calm. Yesterday, this conversation would have destroyed her. Today, after talking with Benjamin, she had clarity. I've already decided. I'm keeping the baby. I'm asking you right now, directly. Will you be involved as a father or not? Tyler looked uncomfortable. I can send money, child support or whatever, but I can't be a hands-on dad right now. My career is taking off. Maybe when the kid is older. So you're choosing your job over your child. I'm being realistic, Tyler said defensively. Not everyone needs to follow the traditional family path. You'll be fine. You're strong and capable. Jenna stood up. You're right about one thing. I am strong and capable. I'll be fine without you. Don't worry about child support. I don't want anything from someone who sees their own child as a burden. She walked out of the coffee shop with her head high, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. Tyler had shown his true character, and she was grateful to know now, rather than waste more time hoping he would change. Building trust over the next 2 weeks, something unexpected happened. Benjamin began checking in with Jenna, always professionally but with genuine concern. He would stop by her desk occasionally to ask how she was doing. He recommended the same obstetrician who had cared for his sister during her pregnancies. Jenna had her first prenatal appointment with Dr. Patricia Walsh. a kind woman in her 50s who made her feel comfortable immediately. Seeing her baby on the ultrasound screen, hearing the rapid heartbeat, made everything real in a profound way. She showed the ultrasound photo to Benjamin during one of their brief conversations, surprised at how natural it felt to share this moment with him. 10 weeks along, Jenna explained. Everything looks healthy. The doctor said I'm due in early June. Benjamin studied the grainy image with genuine interest. It's remarkable, isn't it? How something so small can completely change your perspective on everything. Mr. Frost, can I ask you something personal? Please. When we're talking privately, call me Benjamin. Okay, Benjamin. Do you regret not having children? He was quiet for a moment. Every single day. My ex-wife and I kept saying we'd wait for the perfect time, the perfect financial situation, the perfect point in our careers, the perfect moment when we felt completely ready. We waited ourselves right out of the opportunity. I'm terrified, Jenna admitted. I don't have much money saved. My apartment is tiny. I'm going to be a single mother. But I saw that heartbeat, and I knew I couldn't let fear make my decisions. That's wisdom beyond your years, Benjamin said. And you're not as alone as you think. The company benefits I mentioned are real and substantial. But beyond that, I want to help personally if you'll let me. Jenna looked at him questioningly. Not romantically, Benjamin clarified quickly. I'm your boss, and that would be completely inappropriate. But as someone who recognizes what you're going through and wants to support you, as a mentor, maybe, or a friend who happens to have resources and experience that might be useful. Making plans 2 weeks later, Benjamin invited Jenna to meet with him and a financial planner named Howard Chen. They gathered in a small conference room with coffee and pastries that Benjamin had ordered specially, remembering from their conversations that Jenna had been craving blueberry muffins. Jenna. I asked Howard here because he helped me sort out my finances during my divorce, Benjamin explained. I thought he might be able to help you create a realistic budget and plan for the baby's arrival. Only if you're comfortable with this, of course. Jenna had initially felt awkward about accepting so much help from her CEO, but she had come to understand that Benjamin genuinely wanted to support her. His motives were pure, born from his own experiences with isolation and regret. Howard was a cheerful man in his 60s, with reading glasses perched on his nose. Let's start with what you've got and what you'll need, he said kindly. No judgment, just facts and planning. Over the next hour, they mapped out Jenna's current finances. Her salary, rent, student loans, and basic expenses. Then they added projected costs for the baby. Medical bills not covered by insurance. Nursery furniture, diapers, formula, or nursing supplies. Childcare once her leave ended, the numbers were daunting. But Howard showed her how the company's benefits would cover a significant portion. The 16 weeks of paid leave would give her time to bond with the baby without financial stress. The health care coverage meant minimal out-of-pocket costs for delivery. You'll need about $5,000 saved for unexpected expenses and initial purchases, Howard concluded. That seems like a lot, but we have 7 months to get there. If you can put away $600 per month, you'll reach your goal. Jenna bit her lip. I barely save $200 a month right now. Benjamin leaned forward. What if we approach this differently? Jenna, your performance reviews have been excellent. You consistently exceed expectations. I've been meaning to discuss a promotion with you anyway. What if we accelerated that timeline? A promotion? Senior marketing coordinator with a 15% salary increase. The position is real, and you've earned it. The timing just happens to also solve a practical problem. Jenna felt overwhelmed. Benjamin, I can't accept this. If it's charity, it's not, he said firmly. Ask Karen in Human Resources. She's been telling me for 6 months that you're overqualified for your current role. We've been underpaying you, frankly. This is a business decision that happens to benefit both of us. Howard did quick calculations. With a 15% increase, you could comfortably save $700 per month and still have more spending money than you do now. Family reactions that weekend. Jenna finally called her parents in Montana. She had been dreading this conversation, but she needed her family to know. Her mother answered on the second ring. Jenna, sweetheart. We were just talking about you. Your father and I were thinking about visiting Seattle for Thanksgiving. Mom, I need to tell you something important. Can you put me on speaker so Dad can hear too? There was a pause. Then her father's voice joined. What's going on, kiddo? Everything okay? Jenna took a deep breath. I'm pregnant. I'm about 3 months along, and the baby is due in June. The silence stretched for what felt like an eternity. Finally, her mother spoke, her voice careful. And the father. Tyler and I broke up. He's moving to Portland for his career and made it clear he doesn't want to be involved. I'm going to do this alone. Alone? Her father's voice rose. Jenna, raising a baby alone is incredibly difficult. Have you thought about all the implications? The financial burden, the exhaustion, the impact on your career? Yes, Dad, I've thought about all of it. I've created a budget with a financial planner. My company has excellent parental leave. I'm getting a promotion that will help with expenses. I've got this planned out. Her mother's voice softened. Honey, we're not disappointed in you. We're worried. We want to support you, but we're 3 states away. I know, Mom. And I'm not asking you to drop everything and move to Seattle. I just needed you to know. I needed my family to be aware that there's going to be a new member joining us. Her father cleared his throat, emotion evident. Well, I'm going to be a grandfather. That's something I've been looking forward to, even if the timing isn't what we expected. We'll come visit after the baby is born, her mother promised. And Jenna, we love you. We'll figure this out together. After hanging up, Jenna cried, but this time they were tears of relief. Her parents might be concerned, but they were supportive. She was building a network of people who cared. Riley finally returned to Seattle from a family emergency in California that had kept her away for 3 weeks. She showed up at Jenna's apartment with Thai food and apologies. I'm so sorry I've been MIA, Riley said, hugging her friend tightly. My mom had surgery, and everything was chaos. I saw you tried to call me a few weeks ago, but when I called back, you said everything was fine. Was everything actually fine? Jenna laughed. So much has happened. Sit down. I need to tell you everything. She told Riley about the pregnancy, about accidentally calling Benjamin instead of her, about Tyler's abandonment, and about how Benjamin had become an unexpected source of support. Riley listened with wide eyes, occasionally interrupting with questions or exclamations. Wait, your CEO heard your pregnancy confession voicemail and decided to help you? That's like something from a movie. I know it sounds weird, Jenna admitted, but it's not romantic. He's going through a divorce and dealing with his own regrets about not having kids. I think helping me is therapeutic for him somehow. And honestly, Riley, I don't know what I would have done without his support these past few weeks. Does it bother you? Having your boss so involved in your personal life? Jenna considered the question. At first, yes. But Benjamin has been nothing but respectful. He's created boundaries. We talk during lunch breaks or after work, never during business hours unless it's work-related. He's introduced me to resources but never pushed. It feels more like having a mentor who genuinely cares about my well-being. Riley smiled. I'm glad you have support. And now you have me back too. I want to be there for doctor's appointments, baby shopping, midnight craving runs, all of it. The nursery with her promotion official and her finances more stable, Jenna began preparing for the baby. Her small apartment was challenging, but she was creative. The second bedroom, barely larger than a closet, would become the nursery. One Saturday, Benjamin showed up unexpectedly at her building, carrying a toolbox. I hope you don't mind, he said, when Jenna answered the door in paint-stained clothes. You mentioned you were setting up the nursery, and I thought I could help assemble furniture. I'm actually pretty handy. Jenna laughed, gesturing him inside. You don't have to do this. I want to. Besides, I've spent too many Saturdays alone in my too big house. This is a better use of my time. They worked together assembling a crib, a changing table, and a small dresser. Benjamin turned out to be methodical and patient with instructions. They talked easily about everything from childhood memories to favorite books to dreams for the future. What are you hoping for? Benjamin asked as he tightened bolts on the crib. Boy or girl? Healthy, Jenna said immediately. That's all I care about. Though I find out the gender next week at my ultrasound. Do you want to know? Only if you want to tell me. Jenna looked around the small room. Soft yellow walls, white furniture, a mobile with clouds and stars that Riley had bought. It was modest, but filled with love. Oh, I used to imagine doing this with a partner, she said quietly. Planning the nursery together, picking out names, being excited as a couple. The reality is different, but I'm realizing it might actually be better. I get to make all the decisions. I don't have to compromise with someone who doesn't truly want to be here. Benjamin stood and surveyed their work. This baby is lucky to have you as a mother. You're brave, Jenna. Braver than most people I know. The shower, as Jenna entered her third trimester, her co-workers organized a baby shower. The conference room was decorated with balloons and streamers. A cake shaped like a baby carriage sat on the main table. Gifts wrapped in pastel paper were piled high. Whitney from the neighboring desk had coordinated everything. We wanted you to know that you have a whole office full of people who care about you and this baby. Jenna was overwhelmed by the generosity. Diapers, clothes, blankets, bottles, toys. Practical items that would save her hundreds of dollars. But more than the gifts, she was touched by the community she had found. Benjamin attended, bringing a large gift wrapped in silver paper. Inside was a top-of-the-line baby monitor system and a gift certificate to a baby supply store. The monitor has all the latest safety features, he explained. And the gift certificate is to cover whatever else you realize you need once the baby arrives. As the party wound down, Benjamin pulled Jenna aside. I have something else for you, but it's not really a gift. More of an opportunity. He handed her an envelope. Inside was information about a company program she had never heard of. Starting next year, Cascade Technologies is launching an on-site childcare facility, Benjamin explained. It'll be on the 10th floor with certified caregivers. It's age-appropriate activities, and it's subsidized by the company, so it costs about half what you'd pay elsewhere. You and your baby have a guaranteed spot. Jenna's eyes filled with tears. You created a childcare center? The company has been growing. We need to retain talented employees, especially mothers. It's a business investment that helps everyone. But yes, your situation definitely influenced the timeline for launching this program. June arrival in a sunny morning in early June, Jenna's water broke while she was eating breakfast. She called Riley, who picked her up and drove her to the hospital. She also texted Benjamin, who had asked her to let him know when labor started. 18 hours later. At 2:30 in the morning, Jenna gave birth to a healthy baby girl weighing 7 pounds, 3 ounces. She had dark hair and her mother's eyes and lungs that announced her. Arrival with impressive volume, Riley was in the delivery room, holding Jenna's hand and coaching her through contractions. When the baby was finally placed on Jenna's chest, both women cried. She's perfect, Riley whispered. Absolutely perfect. Amelia rose, Jenna said, looking down at her daughter. I'm going to call her Amelia. The next morning, Benjamin came to visit during afternoon visiting hours. He brought flowers and a teddy bear wearing a Cascade Technologies t-shirt that made Jenna laugh. May I? He asked, gesturing toward the baby sleeping in the clear bassinet. Jenna nodded, and Benjamin gently picked up Amelia, cradling her with surprising expertise. She's beautiful. Jenna, absolutely beautiful. Watching Benjamin hold her daughter, Jenna felt a wave of gratitude. This man had appeared in her life through a mistaken phone call and had become one of her strongest supporters. He had shared his own pain and used it to help her navigate hers. Thank you, Jenna said softly. For everything. For not deleting that voicemail. For taking a chance on helping me. For showing me that sometimes the people we need appear in the most unexpected ways. Benjamin carefully returned Amelia to her mother's arms. You've taught me something too, Jenna, that it's never too late to make a difference in someone's life. That regrets about the past can become motivation for the present. Watching you become a mother, seeing your strength and courage, has helped me heal from my own losses. 6 months later, Christmas morning found Jenna in her apartment with Amelia, now 6 months old and full of personality. She had started sitting up on her own and smiled constantly. especially when Riley made funny faces or Benjamin stopped by with new books to read to her. Jenna's apartment had evolved. The nursery was warm and cozy. The living room had added a playmat and toy basket. Photos of Amelia covered the refrigerator. Her phone rang. It was her parents' video calling from Montana. "Merry Christmas," her mother called out. "Let us see our granddaughter." Jenna positioned the phone so they could see Amelia in her Santa outfit, gnawing on a soft toy.
"Oh,
"She's gotten so big," her father exclaimed. "We're definitely coming out for New Year's. Can't believe how much we're missing." After the call, Jenna reflected on the past year. It had been the most challenging and rewarding of her life. Single motherhood was exhausting, beautiful, scary, and fulfilling all at once. Her career had flourished. The promotion had led to more responsibilities and another raise. The on-site childcare meant she could visit Amelia during lunch breaks and never worried about her daughter's care. Tyler had reached out twice, both times asking about the baby, but never offering to visit or be involved. Jenna had responded politely, but briefly. He had made his choice, and she harbored no bitterness. Amelia deserved better than a reluctant father. Benjamin had become a constant presence in their lives, but always appropriate. He was Uncle Benjamin to Amelia, bringing age-appropriate toys and books, attending her half-birthday party, and celebrating her milestones. His own divorce had finalized, and he seemed more at peace, channeling his energy into mentoring young employees and making Cascade Technologies a more family-friendly workplace. The doorbell rang. Riley arrived with bagels and coffee, followed shortly by Benjamin carrying a wrapped present. "It's from all the grandparents she should have locally," he joked, setting down the large box. Inside was a convertible high chair that would grow with Amelia. They sat together, 4 of them, sharing breakfast and watching Amelia explore her new toys. It was not the family Jenna had imagined a year ago, but it was real and loving and perfectly imperfect. "I have an announcement," Benjamin said as they cleaned up wrapping paper. "I've decided to establish a scholarship fund through the company. It'll provide educational support for children of single parents who work at Cascade Technologies. Amelia will be one of the first recipients when she's ready for college." Jenna hugged him, overcome with emotion. "You never stop surprising me. You changed my life, Jenna. That accidental voicemail was the best wrong number I've ever received. It gave me purpose and showed me that helping others is the best way to heal yourself." As the afternoon sun streamed through the windows, Jenna held her daughter close and looked around at the people who had become her chosen family. She had started this journey terrified and alone, convinced that an unplanned pregnancy would derail her life. Instead, it had led her to discover strength she didn't know she possessed, to build a community of support and to find joy in unexpected places. Tyler's abandonment had hurt, but it had also freed her to create the exact life she wanted without compromise. Amelia gurgled happily, reaching for the Christmas lights twinkling on the small tree in the corner. Jenna kissed her daughter's soft hair and smiled. The journey had been difficult, but standing here now with her baby in her arms and friends who felt like family surrounding her, she would not change a single thing. The mistaken phone call that had started everything had seemed like the worst moment of her life. When it happened, now she understood it was actually a gift, a cosmic accident that connected her with exactly the person she needed when she needed him most. Life rarely follows the plans we make, Jenna thought. But sometimes, when we're brave enough to embrace the unexpected, it leads us somewhere even better than we imagined.